Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Right as I push record and start talking, the wood stove blower kicks in. Good timing. So I got a little shop time. It's Saturday afternoon, so I decided I'd come start pulling the dash apart a little bit and get it ready for wiring. So I've already removed the ignition switch, the lights, and fuel gauge because I'm going to be putting a 12-volt fuel gauge in. So I've still got to get the amp meter out. This right here, despite these wires hanging, this has no wires to it, so I can't trace them and see what it is. My guess, it's kind of like a dimmer switch maybe. So my guess is at one point it had a heater in here, and maybe that was the fan control. I don't know. If you know what that is or have any ideas, leave a comment under the video for me. I'm kind of curious. Like I said, it was probably just a fan control. I doubt it would be a dimmer switch for the lights. That would just be kind of useless on this thing. So let me know what you think. I'm gonna get that amp meter out and start trying to pull all the old wiring out. Kind of a mess of old wire in there, so I'm gonna try to pull all that out and just get everything ready to be wired. I don't know if I'll start pulling any wire today, we'll see. But again, every time I push record, the blower comes on. As you can tell, I don't have my seats in here, which makes it easier to get at. A little bit easier, but still, there's just not much room in here. And getting up behind with the cane there and just other stuff, it's tricky getting, I don't know what's the best way to sit in here. There's just no room, and I really don't feel like laying on my back doing a little circus act in here trying to get to these. But up, I don't know if you can see this. That one's bare, that one's down too. Copper. This I believe, yeah, this is the you probably can't see that, but that's the fuel sending unit wire coming around. And like I said, it's down to copper. That'll, like I said earlier, I've already got the fuel gauge, the ignition switch. This is interesting because it's got accessory position, the off position, and then just the run. It doesn't have the start. But I don't know what your field of view is right now, but I've actually got a push button, momentary push button starter on the far left side of the dash. There are the holes in the floorboard up here where there used to be a foot button, start button. I'm gonna keep the button in the dash. I kind of like that. I don't really like the idea of the foot button, just because I want to be able to you know, work the throttle while it's trying to start up a little bit, rather than pushing the button and, you know, trying to figure out how to go back and forth, whatever. So so at some point the GoPro just turned off, stopped recording, which I was rambling anyway, so you're probably happy it did. I finally got the wiring all out, and I'm going to show you a close-up of this one, and you tell me, was this Jeep a fire hazard waiting to happen? There's open wire there, open wire there. This is just the dash light, but let me walk around to the other side where the rest of the harness is a second. And exposed wire there. Well, I could go through and show you. There's several spots where there's just exposed wire. This is apparently the high beam indicator that's painted over, so I'm going to clean that up. I don't know if I'll be able to reuse that or not. I can throw new wire on it, solder new wire to that, or replace it. But all the wiring is out except for the one to the push button start, which will replace that as well, and the fuel gauge sending unit that goes through and pops out right here to the top of the fuel tank. So we'll get that replaced as well. But so essentially all the wiring is out of the Jeep. So we're gonna rewire it all. Let's see. Yeah, this is gonna be a trick. Getting this fuel line started here. We've been trying to figure some things out. Not this, but we got talking about wiring and stuff like that. So We got the tank in and got the fuel line connected to it. Got some thread sealer on it. Got this all connected. I don't have it banded down because I still want to clean them up and spray them. We got the wire for we got the new pickup in. Okay, so to jump back, if you've been watching the videos, we had an issue with these screws going in. So Jeremy brought his tap over. We were able to tap those holes and get those screws and get that mounted up. So now we got the wire routed up, and we're gonna get the new 12-volt fuel gauge in. So right now I'm making a wire for this. Wire goes to the gauge. I'm making up the wire to go from the gauge out the firewall to where eventually I'm gonna have a fuse block. So you caught up. That's kind of where we're at. Well, throughout today and this evening, I kind of bounced around on some things. I rambled a lot. Jeremy came by. We got the gas tank in. We got it wired up. Got the 12-volt fuel gauge wired to the tank. We don't have it wired to power yet. We don't have power yet. So we did spend a lot of time going over the wiring on a dry erase and how we want to do things, and kind of figured out what parts we need to get for our next steps. Obviously a battery, a little bit of cabling. So I'm kind of, right now at this moment, I'm not sure how this video is going to look, because I worked under the dash and rambled quite a bit, like I said, and Jeremy came over. We kind of bounced around on different things. I like to try to keep my videos on target. If I'm working on the gas tank, I want the video to be about the gas tank. I don't want to be a little bit about the gas tank, a little bit about the cabling, a little bit about this and that, and all over the place. I'm afraid this one, by now, if you're listening to me still, if you're this far into it, you already know how it went. At this moment, I don't know how it's going to go. It's going to be interesting editing, but I do appreciate you watching. If you stuck around this long, thanks. Like I said earlier, leave me some comments. I enjoy responding to every one of them. If you got suggestions or anything, or if I didn't edit it out, if I talked about in this video earlier, I was talking about possibly doing some different podcast ideas, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about those. I'm going to call it a night. It's getting a little late, and I got Jeremy left. I've been putting away tools and things, so I'm going to wrap it up. So if you would, give me a like, give me a comment, share this with anybody you know who might be interested in some idiot working on an old Jeep. Thanks for watching.